probably know what I'm doing. My plan for this channel is that I do art. So I would like feedback on this, okay? Here's my pitch, my plan, my plot. I'm gonna talk about things that I've been through. I wanna call it Dear Future. They are things that I've learned and I'm implementing in my life to better my future and give me better coping mechanisms to adjust to life. Through this process, I'm gonna share it online because why not? So my idea is that I draw and then I put my podcast over my videos. My podcast being things I've learned. For Dear Future, I want to talk about lessons that I've learned from being an ultimate mess up. It's funny because my Instagram for a long time was Unforgivable Disaster because that's how I felt. And as I've started to do better, I've decided I need to use nicer adjectives to describe myself. So now I'm Forgivable Disaster. Yeah. I thought it was funny. Like, it was a rebrand. There's a lot of things that I'm really hard on myself for, and I just wanted to do an introduction of what I'm doing, what I want this channel to look like, and who I am. Hello all, my name is Tyler. I am 25 years old. I had to think about that for a second. I thought I was 24. I'm not 24, I'm 25, turning 26 this year. I'm a single mom. That's a whole other story that I'll probably keep private. I don't really want to divulge too much personal information on here. My goal is that through the progression of my career on YouTube, I slowly build upon my life, is to share what I've been through so that I can help others not make the same mistakes. I wouldn't really wish a lot of the experiences that I've been through on anyone. Through retrospection, I've realized that a lot of them were caused by me. The way that I viewed myself and viewed the world, I created that world. Let me explain a little bit further. I was really negative and hard on myself for a really long time. I'm still really hard on myself because I expect great things from me. I am constantly changing, constantly trying to evolve, constantly trying to level up. Never am just satisfied with where I'm at, no matter what. To do better, be better, have a better impact on those around me, and truly find who it is and what I want. I'm not a very complacent person. I'm very independent. I'm very driven to a point. I can be lazy. I do get held back by indecision and indecisiveness, imposter syndrome. My goal is that I break down all the things that hold me back, all the things I've faced, and we go on this journey together. Let's be completely honest, we all need a little bit of community. If there's one thing I can do while I'm learning to love myself is document it. I'm gonna start out by saying that most things can't be blamed on others. And that's a harsh truth. When you look back at your life, unfortunately, no matter how awful somebody treated you, you probably treated yourself just as bad in that moment. At least that was the truth for me. Everything I've been through, whether it's abuse, that kind of thing, I subconsciously told myself that I deserved this. And I got myself into that position because I thought I deserved that. Because it was a learned behavior. That was not fully my fault, as it was a failure upon my parents to raise me with a little bit more self-worth and identity. But to grow from something like that, I can't blame them. By pushing blame onto other people and saying that it's their fault that you're this way, you're not taking accountability for the fact that you are still, right? So instead of facing yourself saying, all right, I'm this way, this is why this happened, and now I won't do this again, you're pretty much saying, it's like this, I'm not dealing with it, I'm just predisposed to be like this, and that's it. If you want true self-development and growth, you can't look at it that way. Basically, self-acknowledgement is part of growth. If you don't acknowledge the things that you've been through, and you don't acknowledge where you played a part in that, You will not grow from it. That's why everybody recommends therapy. They recommend self-help. They recommend reading books. They recommend education. My goal is to deep dive into all of these different aspects of self-development and growth and why they are important. Speak upon my own experience on how these things help me and develop me into a better person, and the actual change that I've seen in myself to be based around is simply how I see the world. I want to break down all of these things that create different problems, different stresses, and ultimately will destroy your character and your outlook on life and your relationships with those around you. Every single thing that you do is going to affect different aspects of your life, whether it's going to be stress, depression, anxiety, relationships, friendships, family member relations, all of it will be affected by the decisions you make and the way that you view yourself. And the less educated you are and the less aware you are of what you need to be in order to be healthy and aware, the more likely you'll feel lost. This is something I see a lot with my new generation, is a lot of people my age are really lost. They want to deny social norms, and it kind of reminds me of teenagehood. You know, these are a lot of young adults who want to make an impact, want to be different, want to create a revolution, stay away from traditional norms. There's a point that people get to where they lose the plot. So you move so far away from the original workings of the world that you no longer even see it anymore. Denying it to the point where the things that did work, you do not actually listen to. It's the same as you'd see like an old person and you tell them, oh, I don't want to listen to you because I don't agree with your viewpoints. Just because you don't agree with somebody's viewpoints doesn't mean that they can actually have something worthwhile to say. People just want to deny every single aspect of someone just because they don't agree with them. It's a very shallow way to see the world, and it's very closed-minded. You're going to find yourself very isolated if you don't listen to other people. If you can't debate with people, you can't communicate with them in a healthy way. There's a lot of doomification that I've seen within people where they scroll online for a very long time and they just completely are destroyed. The other thing I want to talk about, I mean, there's just so much. I do believe there's a doomification of society, which is pretty much built upon people scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Our minds are not supposed to comprehend that much information all at once. We are supposed to have communities, and those communities are supposed to hold joint values. And that's why you get these cliques online that just virtual war. And you need to believe the things I believe, and you need to believe the things I believe. And the people who are doing this are technically minorities. The majority does not live online. Most of the time when people have altered view, also a little more stable, so they're not going to be sitting there spewing their thoughts online. The more somebody has to explain themselves, the less value it has. A point should be made quickly and efficiently. As simple as lying, okay? If somebody is lying, they're going to overcomplicate something and overcompensate, and they're going to put a lot of effort into something that really shouldn't have that much effort. Why are you giving me this much information? You're overcompensating for this. Did something happen? Most things are easier to explain than one would like to perceive. There's a lot of truths that can be found that are very simple. They're harsh, but they're simple. People want to deny the truth a lot. They do not like the truth. But it doesn't really make sense because they can't actually put definition to the things they are saying. If you cannot clearly define something, then it holds no relevance. If you look at life like an equation, then it has to have a solution and it has to have proofs. Most of society can be looked at like a video game, like coding, like writing an essay, math. It's funny how these social constructs that we have relate to every single aspect of human existence. Through these aspects of human existence, you see that there is always a repetitive cycle. And this is why philosophers exist, this is why people constantly are studying human behavior. Because throughout history, there has always been things that repeat themselves. One thing I'd like to focus on is the flaws within humanity and how to cope with them, because a lot of people have a really hard time coping with them. Let me put it this way: we die. Are you worried about climate change? Why? You're gonna die. Realizing that we're all going to die is truly freeing. Do you know why? Because we all are going to dissipate from this earth. What you need to do is be present and live the life that you want to live. It doesn't matter what's happening across the world. What matters is what's here and now. Your view, your energy that you put into you is going to affect every single other person around you. You have an effect on your community. When you walk down a street and you come across a person, you're going to affect this person. If you are friendly, you will actually put more positive energy out there. That person will think, what a nice young person. Maybe there is hope for the future. The energy you put out in the world is important. That's why you're important. You can make all the money you want and treat everyone around you like shit. Every 10 people that treat each other like shit, they're gonna treat 10 other people like shit. It's a snowball effect. It's killing society. One after another, we're not hearing each other, not listening, and when people have differences in opinions, we attack them. We go out of our way to attack random people we've never met. We dox them, we criticize them, we turn their friends and family against them. We've never met these people. I don't understand. I am so disappointed in my generation. Honestly. The sexual revelation of oh, men and women are just the same. Shut up. No, they're not. Women cannot interact with men the way that men can interact with women. Y'all are misguided and ignorant. Other people have knowledge in order to teach us. We're not supposed to mentor ourselves. We live in an echo chamber of a bunch of other ignorant people who are the same age as us, who have barely experienced life. They're 20-some, they haven't even filed for taxes yet, and they're telling us what the best way to live is and their own philosophies that are not based on actual factual truth from trials and tribulations of actual life experience, and we're holding it as truth. These people have no idea what they are even talking about. They have no clue. Why are we listening to them? No, seriously, why are we listening to them? Oh. Then the materialism. Oh my Lord, y'all. Why? Why y'all need all that? Y'all going into debt over like the randomest shit. Like, golly, what is this getting you? This isn't getting you genuine human connection. You're peacocking all over the place for shallow interactions. You really want the only thing that people see you to be as how much money you supposedly have? Does that Gucci bag really truly make you happy? Invest in stocks. I mean, invest in Gucci stock. If you want to waste money, might as well invest it instead of putting it in something stupid that's going to immediately depreciate in value. My Lord, why y'all doing that? Oh, and plastic surgery? Plastic surgery. Oh my Lord. Y'all, you know your children are still going to come out with your genes, right? You're still going to make more ugly children. Ugly, because you're probably not ugly. You know what's probably ugly? Your inside. Because you can't love yourself. Look, I understand. It's available, whatever. But the idea of self-mutilation in my eyes in order to look a certain way, to the extent that people go through, girl, it ain't worth it. If you're doing it for a trend, just stop. All the studies coming out. Oh my Lord. Whatever. A lot of problems. There's a lot of problems with my generation. I see it a lot online. A lot of angry people, a lot of confused people, a lot of lost people, instant gratification, addiction to porn, lack of communication, lack of understanding of the differences in sexes. I mean, y'all really do not know how to communicate with one another. And I was also a part of that because I thought that men and women communicated the same way, thought the same way. You know, besides physical attributes, I thought we were pretty much the same. We are not the same. And if you think that we're the same, then you can continue to live in your Delulu land. This is not for you, okay? But for the rest of us who actually want to interact with one another like normal human beings and actually see one another and appreciate one another, this is for you. Because somebody's got to put a stop to this madness. I mean, we are all just running around like a bunch of chickens with our heads cut off. That is my goal with this channel. I'm going to dive into all this. Look, I know there's plenty of people who talk about this. I mean, I consume a lot of their content. And I do want to do a lot better of a job of collecting the information and presenting it. And I also want to share my art while I do it. I have a whole idea. You'll have to just stick around to see. But overall, I want to be part of the change, part of the movement, and a better face for my generation. Because y'all looking embarrassing as hell, I swear. All right, peace out, y'all.